Joe, I'm here, baby Joe. Joe, I'm here, baby Joe. Your love it enter me, yeah. I do this it enter me, yeah. Joe, I'm here, yeah. I know fit to take my eyes off you, cause of the little things you do. Fit to make them.
Hi everyone, my name is William Agbo. I'm the Executive Director at Teach on the Beach. And as you can see, we are actually building our first ever educational center, which is like eco-friendly and very sustainable. So we are trying to build using materials from the environment. Currently, we are running an after-school program in Busua. We've been working here for the past 10 years, and we've been actually working in an apartment where it's being rented. So gradually, as we've built a long-lasting relationship with the kids and the community.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Archstorming Webinar Series. My name is Irene, and I will be today's host. We are very excited to have all of you joining us, I guess from everywhere around the world. I hope this time it's fine for all of you. We try to make it as convenient as possible, but as you are located in every different continent, it was a bit difficult. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us. You know Archstorming perfectly well. That's why you came today to this webinar. But we organize sustainable competitions, architecture competitions for social projects. And the competition we launched 2 weeks ago, it's to help an NGO, Teach on the Beach, which does education, has education programs for kids. And as you know, today we are having this first webinar to know a bit more about Teach on the Beach, their work, their mission, their values, just to keep you to warn you. We have our connection. It's directly with Busua, Ghana, so the connection might have some problems. I hope not, but I ask you to be patient and to forgive us if anything unexpected happens. Okay. We have today. Hello, Nuno Pinto. We are inviting today William Agbo, which is the executive director of Teach on the Beach, to have a conversation with us. So I just want to welcome William to the webinar.
Hi,
Hi.
hi everyone.
Okay, so I will just briefly explain. We will first we prepare some questions to ask William, so that you can all learn about different aspects of the competition, of TOB, of the challenge, and then after the questions we prepared, we invite you to ask any question you might want to ask William. So you have the chat. I'm seeing a lot of people saying hi. Joshua also, hello. So feel free to ask any question during the whole webinar, and at the end I will ask some of them to William. If there is no time to ask all of them, don't worry. Afterwards we will answer you any question through Archstorming team. Okay, so I will start with the first question.
Mhm.
We would like to know a bit more about Teach on the Beach. What are
Okay.
the main things Teach on the Beach does, and how it was created?
All right. Teach on the Beach as an NGO has been in existence since 2012. So, the goal actually is to educate the kids in the community. So, to actually, provide them with access with education after school through after school program. So in the Busua, it's a small fishing village. So the kids, when they close from school, they are actually like fishing with their parents or they are selling. So the goal is to actually mobilize these students into one place where they can come for after school classes. So we generally just educate them to enhance their educational support, and also when they go to school, uh, they can bring their homework to us and we assist them just for them to feel comfortable and fair to mobilize these kids into one place, educate them, and promote teaching and learning.
So you provide after school programs so that the kids can do their homework and uh, deep, deepen their education, more or less, right? And um, William, I know you were one of the first students actually in Teach on the Beach,
Yes.
um, and then you became the leader, the executive director of this NGO. Can you explain us a bit about that journey?
Uh, it wasn't an easy journey. I think in life we all have to actually learn what actually is good for us, passion. Um, for me, it was because I love giving back to people, especially kids that have similar story just like mine. So in the process of me being educated in the program and just learning and educating myself, I just realized that actually what I actually love to do more is to actually spend time with children and providing the assistance that they need in their education. Because for me, I didn't get such opportunity because where I was living, no one actually pays attention to you. So for me to have that opportunity to give back to kids like my age and kids that share similar story like mine, I was very very happy about. So gradually, me being in the project program, I was actually taking leadership roles. I was doing extra like I was supposed to. So because I love to do more wherever I find myself, I like to give back. I like to educate kids. So gradually, I think it was actually helping I was actually helping myself to develop. So with time and with furthering my education at the university, because at the university I also took sociology, learning about society and how it works. So I just developed the love. So after graduating, I just realized that okay, this is my path, and I want to do more of humanitarian work. And I like to develop new programs, new initiatives that are benefiting kids in the rural areas, kids that share similar story like mine when I was growing up. So I just felt like this is my calling, and I want to do more for the kids in the community.
That's impressive, William. I think the success of Teach on the Beach is represented in yourself. You are a previous student that end up going to university, and after university went back to the NGO to be the director. So it's very inspiring, and I'm sure our participants are thrilled with this, because this means the mission of the NGO of Teach on the Beach is actually working, right? How many kids
Yes.
do you have per year?
So how many kids?
Yeah,
So we have approximately 120 students.
120. And
Uh, yes.
around what age are them?
So so from ages from
Wow.
5 to 15.
Okay.
Yes, and sometimes we even have students from I would say maybe 3 years, like the nursery from nurseries to starting. Yeah, it's like a lot of kids. Sometimes we actually have to, because the good thing is they want to come to the facility because it doesn't matter what age. They
Okay.
always come, but sometimes we have to stop the little ones from actually coming because we don't have space, to accommodate them. But in the long run, when we open this new center, we will accommodate them so that every kid is inclusive in the
Okay.
program. Yes.
Okay. We will talk about the new educational center in a bit.
Okay. Okay.
Just wanted to learn more about Teach on the Beach right now. So, how many teachers or do you have, or how many people helping in
So of
the beach?
yeah. So officially, I have 6 people, teaching staff. They are all Ghanaians. And the rest, yeah, teaching staff. I have 5 people. Then the rest are volunteers that are seeing our work. Volunteer teachers, volunteer interns that come and support our work as well. Yeah.
And how do you operate Teach on the Beach? How do you run all these, the facility, the teachers? Where does the income come from? A bit so that our audience can understand.
So because it's an NGO, so mostly we get funding from institutions and organizations per connections with volunteers that we have. Sometimes some volunteers have their parents that work in big corporations and they would like to donate funds to support the organization. In other ways too, we have volunteers organizing personal fundraising as well before they arrive at the facility. So sometimes this funding for specific projects, so they can decide, or sometimes I can give them the ideas of where they can raise funds specifically for. In other times too, we actually have extra rooms in the building where we rent out to walk up people that want rooms to stay. So sometimes because our places we give it out for cheap, we can also generate some revenue to continue the work we are doing in the community. So these are ways where we mobilize some finances to support the project.
Okay, I see. So basically, you do your best to find new ways to find some money to run the project. And I'm sure, I mean, we've seen you have been doing an amazing job. I would like to know a bit more about, because we have people from all over the world, and maybe many of them they don't know much about Busua in Ghana. You mentioned it was a fishing area. Can you briefly explain how is it for a tourist who may come, or for anyone? Just briefly talk about Busua.
Yeah, Busua is like a small paradise. If to begin with, it's like 5,000 plus inhabitants. Like it's a very small village. But then it's actually very very popular as well. When you come to Ghana, everyone is recommending Bush to be a place to actually. And the great thing is that when you visit, you do not want to leave because one, it's small, but then the people living in Busua are very nice. So it's like they are very very helpful, very very supportive, and actually when you get there, you feel like at home. You feel comfortable. Unlike other places where maybe people look at you in certain ways that maybe you might not feel comfortable because Busua, everyone is welcoming. Who approach you, they want to get to know you. It's a Ghanaian thing because we want to help our people. If you realize that the person is new in the town or new in the village, people want to approach you and be like, oh, where are you from? They want to get to know you. And I think that is the hospitality in Busua that people actually admire. And Morofa is a fishing village, and also the first place where surfing started in Ghana. It's like also a surfing hub where a lot of people travel around. It's actually very, very popular, and it has one of the best surfers in Ghana, in Busua. So yeah, in Busua, and yeah, it's like you can read more online. It's amazing, and people have a lot of amazing videos about Busua. And I'm sure you've seen the videos about Busua from the start of the program. It's an amazing, calming place, and it's worth actually visiting. It's worth working on because there are a lot of kids that need support in Busua, and they need everyone hand in hand to come on board to educate them so that they can in turn also change their lives, change the lives of their, and be in their community outside wherever they find themselves.
Okay, so a small paradise with amazing, super nice people, surfing spots, and additionally having the opportunity to join POB to be volunteer teaching. I think you already presented it in a very appealing way for our participants. We will talk
Yeah.
about the volunteering program in a bit. So, you already bought the land very close to the current place where you give your lessons. All our participants have the plans. They have seen the spot. It's amazing in the middle of the jungle, or at least it looks like that for someone living in a city like me. Um, and you have already built one classroom.
Yes.
So I would like first just to know, where did that classroom come from? I already know the story and I know someone designed it, but I would like you to explain this story to our audience.
It was I had a volunteer from Czech Republic. I never knew she was an architect until like maybe 4 days before she would leave back to Czech Republic. I just saw her in the couch designing some, buildings for some people. I think she does that for, to get some money as well. Like she does it for people. So I was always, after acquiring the land, I was always brainstorming about, now the land, all the documents are ready, what should be done on the land. So I always wanted to make sure that if we have to build a class or whatever, it has to be eco-friendly. First of all, it has to be socially friendly. Like, so that was the point that I was actually focused on. But I didn't know how it should look like, So I had this conversation with Michaela from Czech Republic, and I just told her some ideas of how I want it, and also with her expertise, she can also develop something for us to see. She developed a few plans, but I think the eco-friendly one stood out because I told her we needed an eco-friendly center where we can use materials from the earth that are also very sustainable, because also that will also encourage the kids because we want to expose the idea of sustainability to the kids, that it's a good way to keep the environment safe for everyone. So we needed to be to keep that idea in the minds of the kids as well whilst we build this structure, so that they are exposed to what eco-friendly facility
Okay.
is as well.
So it was not a random thing to choose ramp earth and the thatch roof and the wooden roof. It was on purpose because you wanted to make a statement for the kids.
Yes, as well. Yeah.
Okay. So in summary, actually, who designed this classroom was a volunteer teaching in Teach on the Beach. that you didn't know. She was an architect, but she started designing this concept, and you loved it, and you have actually built it already, right? It's
Yes,
finished.
yes, yes.
It's finished.
Now we are working on the walls and just getting some details down. But yeah, it's been a great work around the building, just to make it a reality. It's yeah, it makes everyone happy. Um,
How long did it take to build this
I
classroom?
would I would say I think this year September will be 1 year.
Okay,
Yeah, this year September will be 1 year. But I would say, to just, if I should include the months of the getting the land and getting all the paperwork, all this, it could be I think maybe 18 months.
18 months. Okay, yeah. Well,
Yeah, yeah,
we should all know that in general construction process are a bit unexpected, because actually one thing I would like to understand, it's about the
yes,
climate. I know climate really
yeah.
affects construction process. Can you explain us a bit?
Because we are in the tropical area, it's very hot most of the time. So you have to be careful about what materials you use in building your house or whatever project. And because one thing we also chose the ram earth because it's cooler inside. So that one is very supportive. The climate doesn't affect it because you want to make sure that inside the class is much cooler than being hot, than using maybe the bricks, the blocks, and the concrete. So one thing is you also want to make sure it's durable, you know, against water. It doesn't. When it rains, it doesn't affect the walls or whatever. So it must be durable and also, yeah, cooler inside, which is very very important. You know,
Oh,
um, and also long lasting, especially with ram earth. It lasts very long. The strength of it is very high when you build with ram earth, and also with our roofing, the thatch roofing that has the look of back in the olden days. We used the grasses, our ancestors were using them, and it also environmentally friendly. Normal roofing that it's like chemically use chemicals, it's not healthy as well. So yeah, and also friend environment as much as
this is
possible.
This is actually very curious what you just mentioned. We see that in many projects that we have already done. Actually, the techniques that we use to be eco-friendly are techniques and materials that we were already using long time ago, no? Like the patch roof that
Yeah,
you mentioned. We are not discovering anything, but we are reusing the ancient knowledge that we had before, no? So that's very interesting. And good tips, what you said about the weather, the climate, the temperature. It's very hot in Ghana, in Busua. So we must take into consideration of using materials and techniques that keep inside a bit cooler, no? And second, the rain. It rains a lot, so the material
yeah,
used should stand the rain. And is there any rainy season in Ghana?
yeah. There's a in July, but sometimes it might change. It might change. Sometimes the rainy season it could be more in August. So because of climate change, we don't have a stable pattern like before. Before it was like June, July. That was like the pattern. But last year it was raining a lot in July, like ending of July, August, going.
And when it's raining, we cannot go on with the construction. We need to stop.
Depending on especially what you are working on, because for ram earth you do not want to expose it to the rain. So if it's
Okay.
sustainable, you don't want to be working because it will destroy it. So you have to probably maybe wait till the rain is stopped, then you can do layers by layers slowly. But when it's raining, and sometimes if you realize it's raining every single day, then you have to postpone the work because you need the sun. Yeah, you need the sun to dry, make it like dry the ram earth and everything. So yeah, that is one challenge, you know.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, we went through a bit the challenges you faced. Maybe later we have any question about any more challenge, but I would like to know a bit more about the new educational center that we are building.
Mhm.
What are the main uh, things or spaces that you want? Any tip you want to give our audience because they are going to be designing this space? You have
Yeah.
already explained this, and we have this in the introduction video. But now that you have the chance to tell them directly, can you tell us this new educational center, what you want from it?
Um, First of all, I this new center has to be one first attractive to the kid. As to the kids must feel comfortable actually coming to the facility. First, it has to be attractive to the kids because we have to look uh, very simple, eco-friendly places where they can come. You know, uh, should have spaces. You know, for learning, for playing, for also for volunteers as well in general. They should be able to feel comfortable working at a place. You know, it has to be one very comfortable for them and attractive where they want to stay. It must be very simple. You know, it's not too complex. It shouldn't be complex. And yeah, and I would love to see that it has a lot of a green look. You know, where it's you know I think everybody loves places that are because they feel more comfortable and it's friendly. You know, so I want to see that. And yeah, for me, I just like simplicity. But then you can actually realize that everything that has been built there is durable, it's safe, and yeah, calms people. Place where you feel more welcome. You know, whenever you are there.
Great. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
this is a general concept that everyone will take into account to make it look attractive for kids, for people to join, to learn, to teach, for volunteers, to have green spaces, eco-friendly. That's mandatory because all our competitions are using local materials and easy to build techniques. That's the whole goal of Archstorming, to build it possible, no, build sustainable, using sustainable criteria.
Materials. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned already ramp earth and thatch roof. Is there any other local material commonly used to build in
Yeah.
Busua?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a material, either bamboo. You can use bamboo.
Bamboo?
Uh, you can use also a material called raffia. It's actually very, yeah, raffia is very, I like using raffia as well. It's very nice. But yeah, these are the basic materials you can use to build because it's also very accessible. It's you can go to the forest, you can send people to, you can buy from people, you know, from the community. It's also far to travel long distance to get, you know, so it's also materials around.
When you mention, William, one doubt I have, when you mention bamboo, you mean resistant bamboo that can work as beams for the roof, or
Yes,
how you use that?
beams from the, yeah, for the roof.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know
Okay.
bamboos
Okay.
you can use it for like doors. You can use bamboos for doors, for fence.
Mm.
You can use bamboo for windows. It depends on how you want to uh, utilize it.
Okay. But bamboo, it's not, is it more expensive than regular wood or not?
I think bamboo is quite cheaper than regular wood.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, bamboo is quite cheaper than regular wood. Yeah,
Okay. Nice tip.
yeah.
Um, William, and how about the existing infrastructure of the area, like such as the water supply, the sewage systems, electricity? Can you explain a bit how is the infrastructure in the plot so that participants know a bit more about it?
So currently, we just have the structure of the classroom and the water supply system, and we have electricity connectivity because we had to organize from the electricity company of Ghana to come and assess the place, and because our location before had no electricity connection, so we had to pay them to install like electricity poles, around the building so that we have like one connection. But when the other structures are done, it will be easy accessible to just connect the wires around to connect the other places that need electricity. So connectivity is one we have now. We have electricity in the building, and we have
Okay.
electricity pumping the water. There's water because we had to also, before we even started building, we had to drill water. That was the first thing we did. So we drilled the water connection so we can use the water to work as well whilst we are developing the land and everything, because we had to make sure there's water available. Also in the long run, that is the same water. We just have to connect a filter so that it will connect the pipes and the tanks. That is the same water we are going to use. So I think water, we don't have any issue. Electricity, we don't have any issue. But the next thing is the sewage system that we are going to build in connection, because the only sewage, uh, because it's a classroom, we haven't, because we are now going to connect the sink, like to wash hands and everything. But in the main building, we are going to connect the sewage system. When it rains, the water can, have a place to, you know, uh,
Collect.
yeah. And also like in the collection process, when it rains, because it is touch, so the touch, it doesn't, it actually consumes the water.
It absorbs the
It's
water, right?
yes, yes, it absorbs the water. So unless maybe in other, I think with this we can actually build a water conservation system just to conserve the water in the tank, and we can use that, you know. But for water, we've drilled one from the ground. It's very clean, so we have access to water at any time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, just keep in mind we need to have to store the water from the rain
Yeah.
to use it for the sewage system, which is pretty common technique, but
Yes.
we will keep in mind to have that. Okay. And
Yes.
so William, another question that I would like to ask you. Um, how was during the construction process of this first classroom or the new educational center we are going to build? Is there anything we need to know about how to manage the waste and recycling during the construction process? You have this planned or not? Like how will the operation
So
will go?
I think in connection to that, there should be a space where we can keep our our sewage system, in terms of like sewage system. There should be a one demarcation area where maybe we have waste, like we can have paper at one place, plastic at one place, like a system. So
Mm-hmm.
with the plastic, luckily there's an NGO in Busua that takes plastic. So that will be easy. So we have a container that we store all these things. Then we can call them. Or we can transport the plastic, plastic, so they can use it for recycling. So every material that is plastic around the facility can be stored at one place. Then we transport it to the recycling center, or we just call them to come and pick it. So I think we should have that system in place.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, William. So we are going to end very soon because we've been already talking for more than half an hour. But because we are doing all this design competition to help you have this new educational center. And I would like to ask you, what does it mean for you to be part of this competition, to have Teach on the Beach being one of Archstorming design competition, and what does it mean for you to know that so many people from all over the world will be designing your new design, your new educational center?
Um, in the first place, for me, I see it as a great opportunity, not only for me, but just for the kids in the community to actually have a place, in the long run where they can actually go and freely be educated and helped. But for me, it's very fulfilling that this opportunity has come, and I've joined this amazing uh, project where people would design the next buildings for the center. And for me, it makes me very happy in the first place. And yeah, I'm so excited. Everyone, the team, everyone is super excited about this next step, and just to just see everything in reality in the long term. And yeah, the kids, most of the time we do it for the kids, so just for them to have access to these things in the long run makes everyone happy and proud. So yeah, that is how I see it.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sure everyone is also doing this for the kids to provide a beautiful and sustainable space where they can keep learning and they do not have to change or to stop going to Teach on the Beach because of the rent or because of any other issue. No, you have your own center, which is going to look amazing, I'm sure. And apart from designing this center, we also invite participants to join to build the center to help with the construction that it's going to start this summer. So also I would like you to, as we are inviting everyone to join, to explain how would it be for them to go 1 2 weeks. What is the experience they will gain
Yeah.
while joining, or how would be a normal day for a volunteer that goes and helps with the construction in Teach on the Beach?
Okay.
Can you explain it?
So in the first place, for me, I've worked with over like 500 volunteers. Um, First of all, when you arrive, one, we don't treat you as a volunteer, we treat you as part of our family. So one, you feel more comfortable because everyone in the project, they are all super nice, and everyone is very helpful. So on a normal day, we have a schedule of how the normal day works. So on a normal day in the morning, we are working and helping the locals. So we want to make sure that the locals are in charge, and also employing them for employment's sake. We have to involve a lot of locals who work on site. So we are going to be helping them in terms of maybe concrete work, helping with them with logistics, going to the market to buy the supplies, and also volunteers who have skills are going to work hand in hand with the local employees, the workers. So that way it bridges the gap of how they can learn something from the local worker in the course of working together. Then also, yes, we do that in the morning because in the afternoon it's very, very hot in Ghana. So we work from 8 to 12 o'clock. Then we close for construction site. But most of the times, the local workers are still on site. They are working as well. But we
Okay.
do not want to only give volunteers the opportunity to work on site. That
So
is
what can they do
experience.
in their free?
Yes, so in the afternoon, that is where we do the after school program. So we make sure that the volunteers, as they are working on site, we know that the kids, the classroom is for the kids, but they also have to have a classroom experience with the kids. So
Okay.
yeah, so we plan different activities because we have the staff, the volunteers can either observe and watch how the teaching and learning is being done so that they can also get an experience of how to work with children. It's very, very important as well. So sometimes you have volunteers that can be flexible. They love to work with kids, or maybe they love playing instruments. Any kind of hobbies they have that they can introduce to the kids, they can do that. So because that is the time to do that in the after school program. So we can all groups of children with them for to work with whatever creative idea they have because we are open for ideas as well. So we want volunteers to feel in charge, not like to boss them around, but then we are there to guide them and assist them to make sure that they have teaching and learning in the after school program. But then to do outreach program where we travel to other communities that do not have any access to after school program. But this is sometimes once in a month. We organize activities, games or sports, creative arts activities. We travel to the community because we build relationship with that community and the headmistress of the school, so we can work with their students and just introduce after school activities with them. Together with the volunteers, we have a lot of fun doing that. We go and do other activities. And in the long run, we also organize trips to travel to other places to experience Ghana. Because when they come, we want to give them a real Ghana experience, not only just spending time at the construction site, but
Mm-hmm.
they get to see other parts of Ghana. That is one attractive that they can learn about the slave trade, the slave castle in Ghana, so they can learn about the history of that. That is a very, very important information they have to know. So we organize all this, we organize everything, we have a structure. So after the orientation, we plan the schedules of where we are going, what we are doing at this time. So everything is structured.
Okay, so I see there is a very, very, very complete program where you can help with the construction, you can help giving classes or sharing your whatever knowledge or hobby you have with the kids. There is also possibility to join other communities to help with after school programs or even to travel around Ghana, but
Yes,
everything it's organized by you, and our participants can learn about all these volunteer trips that you organize in your website, right? Teach on the
yes,
beach.
yes, yes.
Oh,
In the website, but the only thing is in the website we doing because I also love to have Zoom meetings with volunteers. So any party I like to have a direct meeting, or maybe if they are group, I love to interact before they arrive. So I like
okay.
that one-on-one conversation where I can talk about all the things they have to know that we do, and I also have like a document I can share. But sometimes I love to, have the. Then when they arrive during the orientation, we actually talk details more about how it's gonna be, because it's nice to have the conversation. But I think when the people arrive, when they arrive, and you are with them one on one, it's also very helpful to plan with them. Yeah.
Okay, so whenever if anyone is interested, they should just go to your website, write you, and then you will manage. You will have any conversation you want
Yes.
with them.
Yes.
The summary message is that it's definitely going to be an experience they will never regret. They're going
Yes.
to learn a lot and help a lot and enjoy a lot the Ghana experience. So I'm sure we will have many participants from Archstorming joining you.
Yes. 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 And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, everyone. And if they want to also speak with other volunteers and them about their experience, yeah, they are free. They can let me know. I'll organize other former volunteers so that from their experience they can share with them how it's like. Maybe they want to know about the accommodation, whatever questions they have. Yeah, if we get connected, they can ask me, or I can recommend a volunteer they can talk to. Yeah, so just to make sure everything is successful and no one is like stressed out, because I love to plan with volunteers every step of the way, just to make everything simple, easy for them.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, William. I think
Yeah.
it's super clear. We discussed so many things. Nevertheless, everyone knows you can always reach us in info@arcstorming.com
Yeah.
or reach William in his email. I'm sure it's in the
Website, the website. Yeah.
website
Yeah.
on the beach. So thank you so much, William, for joining
Yeah.
us today.
Mm. Yeah.
I'm very, very excited to see all the competition projects. Just remember, participants, the competition is on until July 12th, and the results will be published in July 27th, and the construction will start in August. So I
August.
welcome
Yeah.
everyone to join the competition to design the new educational center for Teach on the Beach. And thank you, William. See you soon in Ghana.